everyone is talking about data and the importance of data in advertising and marketing. So in this data-driven world, how would you put forth a case for creativity?
Well, I think data is nothing without creativity. It's just pure information, really. So it's just a enabler, I feel. Now, as early as 2005, we were informed by insight. When Unilever, our client, put out a research to find out about how women thought about themselves. And only 4% of women came back with the notion that they are beautiful. Shockingly.
Yeah.
And armed with that insight, we were able to write our brand platform for Dove Unilever, which is Campaign for Real Beauty.
Yeah.
Now, today we're still using that. Now, those days we used to call them insight. Today we call them data.
Yeah.
It's really information, and data is nothing without creativity. And so we still have to rely on data, deep data, to get us to the human truth.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you can find from data. And I believe that the two will go hand in glove, even more important going forward.
So as a creative person, I would personally like to know from you, do you trust data more or intuition?
Oh, wow. I think both. Both. I think first of all, it's the gut. So it's intuition. So you get an intuition about a piece of work or an idea, and you are passionate about it. You're driven by that notion, that concept. And it's important that one has to go into the data and research and back that up with deep research. So you've got to go deep down and fly high constantly. Yeah. And that will get you to a great place.
Yeah.
And you do have to exercise that. You can't just, this world doesn't exist now with fighting with one hand. You just got to do it with two hands, for example. And you need both.
Yeah. In this world today, what does it take to become a great creative person?
I think you have to constantly challenge assumptions. You have to constantly challenge the world around you. Because nothing is really given. And you also have to be irreverent in many ways. By irreverent, I mean you have to be questioning, and you have to really upset a kind of status quo, if you like, that's gone on before. And that's at the heart of innovation. And if you look at Silicon Valley, why the kids out there are so highly attuned to being innovative, is really because there is irreverence, deep irreverence of what came before. Of course, you have deep respect for that, but you should defy tradition, in other words. That's what I mean. You have to defy tradition and challenge that status quo. And if you can overturn that for a better idea, so much the better.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, you have to stay tuned in. You have to really be the antenna. You've got to be tech savvy in some ways. Technology is an enabler. But again, technology is nothing without creativity.
Correct.
And the world is changing so fast, so quickly, that somebody asked me to be the crystal ball today. I refused. And the thing is, it's just constantly being challenged.
Yeah.
And we are people of the book, moving to become people of the screens. I'm carrying 3 screens with me constantly.
Constantly, correct.
And in 5 years' time, the telephone won't be what it is you see today.
Yeah.
It will be perhaps a screenless projection that you pull from the air, and it's already happening. And so it's really fascinating what's out there. And we have to be attuned to this. And of course, you have to be a student of life, a student of life. And I'm still learning. We are still learning.
Yeah. So, you know, one thing about this industry or advertising that you want to retain and one thing that you want to change.
Well, one thing I want to change is the conservatism that this industry is riddled with, the fear. The fear coming mainly from clients who are crippled with what's happening in the next quarter. How's our sales doing? And look, I mean, we're here to build brands. And of course, you know, we're here to help our clients in the short term, medium term, long term. But sometimes by focusing on the short term, you miss the big picture.
Yeah.
Because it's a long game, actually. It's not an end game, it's a long game. So I would love to change that fear and have more courage going forward. And I'm generalizing, of course. But there are also very enlightened clients with us. And they're very coveted clients that we love because they do trust us 100%. That in the end, you've got to have standout creativity, no matter what happens. You can't zig when everybody zag. Otherwise, you'll have a whole palette full of beige paint.
That's a good way
gray
to put
paint. Huh?
Yeah.
You just got to have some spark.
Yeah.
You know, some magic. And I tell you, imagination is one of our biggest faculty that we have. Imagination, to dream.
Yeah.
And imagine all the ideas that haven't been done yet. And that's where we want to go.
Yeah. And what is the thing that you would like to retain?
I would love to retain the notion that we are all born creative. That, you know, we got it educated out of us. That everyone is creative. I think, ironically, I think we have to even educate people that they are creative.
Yeah.
It's incredible what we all can do, actually. We have this imagination in us, the power in us, that talent in all of us.
Yeah.
We may not be as talented as each other, but we have different talents.
Yeah.
And I think as organizations, as in businesses, is putting the people in the right place, for the right job, for the right talent. Because we all have skills. And in my short years in advertising, that's what I believe in. And I think at Ogilvy, we try and bring out the inner talent in everybody. We try and grow those talents that we have and attract those talent. Today, I was at the Young Lions and I was giving a talk in the Palais to the Young Lions. We call them the Young Lions. People who have been in the industry for 5-6 years. And they're still learning. And it's a great thing because I'm also learning from them. So there's a reverse mentorship going between us. It was a class of 30. And David Ogilvy has taught us about teaching hospital. He thinks an agency is like a teaching hospital where we look after the patient and also we train doctors. You know, we are doctors and we also undergo training. So if you draw that analogy to an agency, we grow our clients' businesses and also we train the next generation. So in that way, we should be like a teaching hospital.
So my final question to you is, you know, we see technology everywhere, and you spoke about how technology is like a big enabler. When I entered Cannes, like probably 5-6 years ago, we would see like big agencies on the beach. Currently, we see a giant wheel with Snapchat on it. We see big beaches with YouTube and Facebook. Do you think tech companies are in a better place to win at Cannes Lions as compared to creative agencies today?
Not necessarily. In fact, on the contrary, I would think that agencies still hold that cachet of attracting the best talents in the world. And that's why all the consultancy firms are poaching from agencies. The tech companies are poaching from agencies like us. And so it's hand-to-hand combat, really. And I think it's interesting because the tech companies themselves, they want creativity, they buy creativity, but yet they work with us. So in a way, they are our partners as well as our competition. And our job really is to encourage the young talent and protect their ideas that they are capable of producing. And it doesn't mean that if you go to a young tech company, you try to blossom. They have their own issues. And it still boils down to the idea. And I liken an idea to be like a Trojan horse, where you actually sugarcoat the message into a Trojan horse, and in the night, you get into the audience's defenses. You storm the citadel. And how do you do that? You actually have to go into the gut first, and you have to trigger that connection before you start being cognitive and be rational about, what's it saying to me? And that's why humor is being used a lot, because that's a great Trojan horse. And if you're a tech company, you still need the Trojan horses.
All right, thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you, Khai.
Thank you very much.